All right, yeah.
Sick.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring the doc over here. So we will go through what it looks like when a pipeline fails and what steps you take. For this, I'm just gonna go into a project and there's probably runners already to run my jobs, but I'm gonna just look to see if that's true. There's
Um,
no.
Question, who's typically doing this?
Yeah, so this is um a developer, I would
Okay.
say. Yeah, software developer.
Like a
Um,
normal dev or like a manager?
a normal dev who is like a code author, who's yeah, just committing code, writing code.
Okay.
Okay, I have a feature flag enabled. I just remembered, which is making it look like that. Oh, how do I? Oh no. I need to see all the feature flags, but I don't remember. Um, this one. Okay.
Oh, and GDK, you want to see feature flags?
Yeah, is there a way I can see all the ones that I'm
Yeah, it's dash Rails dash features, I think.
like from this standpoint, from here?
Yeah, it's yeah, that's it.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, do I have to do like restart or something? Nope.
I
There we
think
go.
just refresh. Yeah.
Okay, so I do have a project runner that's online that I can enable. So just a quick note, when you're a maintainer, this is not, I would not say this is for a developer. This is for somebody who created the project in the beginning, which I guess it depends on how large the organization is, but typically this would be more of like a platform engineer who is maintaining the runners across many projects. They would be able to enable a runner for you for the project to run your jobs.
Okay.
So anyways, I'm doing that. Um, Now I'm gonna see from my own standpoint, understand what's in the pipeline editor to see if my runner is able to run this without issues. It doesn't have a pipeline. Okay. This is perfect actually, because it's running shell commands, so my runner will definitely be able to do this. Okay, so in this case, I'm gonna commit the changes. This is typically not a software developer normal route. Like they wouldn't be configuring CI/CD. So you will see this, but the pipeline should run whenever you make a commit and a merge request is open. So the process of like debugging the pipeline is still going to be the same. It's just how where it starts is a little different.
Okay. So like
Okay.
I'm writing code, I make a commit, make a merge request, and then is it every time I make a commit, the runners or the pipeline runs?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah. And then you can see even when you are looking at the pipeline, it shows you the commit that it's associated with,
Okay.
which then you can go back and see just the commit details. The importance of the link there is right now I'm just looking, things don't seem to be failing, they're just pending, or some of them have succeeded already. So if something did fail, it would be important for me to trace it back to the commit to see if there was anything added in there that would have led to that failure.
Okay.
Um, But let me see if there's additional jobs in this. This one failed. It's allowed to fail. No. All right. I'm just going to go into GitLab.com at this point, I think. I think I had a merge request I could show recently. This one. Okay. So this is a good example of something that a software developer could do. I just made a change to the guidance for reviewing merge requests.
Okay.
And the first time I committed, there was a failed job because of a broken link. And I
Okay.
noticed that from this little widget here because it told me that it had failed. And when I went into the job, I don't know which one it was, but it was one of them. It was like a linting error. I went into the job and then went into the what is this called? What is this? Why am I forgetting the oh my God, I can't think of words.
Is this like the job definition file or
The job log. Okay.
job
Whew.
log? Okay.
Thank you. So yeah, this is telling you everything that's going on to run the job, telling you which
Okay.
runner it's running on. It then uses a Docker image and grabs that, and then it goes through the actual job itself. So from here, I looked at the failure and I had a broken link. So then I just went back to the commit that I made or to the merge requests and I opened up I used the web IDE for it. So I fixed it and then I committed again. And then I saw a green check here,
Oh,
wherever that went. Yeah. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Uh,
Um,
Yes. Interesting.
so is this like the state of what people have to do today because they can't filter the commit list?
Um, I actually don't know how many people start from the commit list and go from there to see field pipelines.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of my main question is like, so we're introducing filters basically to the commit list.
Yeah,
And the question was whether or not it's valuable to have like the bill or the job status on there.
right.
Um, and I know you guys mentioned it's high priority, but I wonder if this is actually like aligned with people's workflows.
Yeah. Can you give me a little bit more information on why people even go to the commits list? Like at what point in their workflow would it be important?
I'm just guessing here, but I would assume for understanding the commit history of a certain change, to get context either because you're working on something or um, because you want to understand like how a piece of code functions.
Mm,
Um, so you can go to the commit list for like a specific file, a directory, or the entire repository. So it's kind of more about getting context on the changes and the history of changes.
okay. Um, the only thing that comes to mind, I don't know if this necessarily connects with the workflow that we just went through. I'm not gonna lie. My assumption is that no one would come to the commit list in that workflow. Where I could see this being useful is tying it back to releases. And potentially seeing commit history tied to a certain release if they needed to like roll something back that broke. That's the only thing I could think of. Let me see if that's even possible today, actually. Interesting. The handbook doesn't use releases, but GitLab project probably does. Let's see. Yeah. Um, this would not be for a developer though. This would be I think you would call it a release manager. I think that's the name for that.
Okay. Huh.
Mhm. That's just docs. Uh, yeah. I'm really trying to look for why someone would go to the commit list, and I don't know why they would do that over just staying within their normal pipeline workflow.
Yeah. Um, so I guess like is the MR page the main page that they would stay on if they're trying to see if their code worked?
Yes, or I'll share my screen again. Either the MR page and looking at this widget, or just actually going to the pipeline itself and following the status from here. This is a good example of, I think it said unknown failure. It's interesting. Oh, the trigger job failed. So this said that there was a script failure. One thing I have, it looks like it failed because of a test,
Mhm.
but one thing I've been using in this case is troubleshoot, and Duo will tell me how to fix it.
Okay.
But again, I wouldn't see myself like leaving this and going to the commit list, and I don't understand why. I'm not sure if a developer would do that.
Yeah. Um, so you said like a release manager might want to see the commits with failed pipelines. Um,
Yeah,
are you familiar with that workflow?
no, I'm
Okay.
not.
Okay. It's
And releases is part of like the our deploy package, which is like feature flags, releases, environments, stuff like that, and that is deprioritized for GitLab right now. Yeah.
is there a designer working on that, or is that
Not
like
anymore. The designer who was previously on that team is Emily Bowman.
oh, Emily left, right? Or something else.
Wait,
Oh,
what is
wait,
it?
wait, Emily's still here.
Yes,
Wait, wait,
yes.
wait, wait.
Yeah. She's on the AI team now, I think. Yes.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it would be if there was a if I understood better like why someone would want to even look at the pipeline status when they come to a commits page. Because if the job is to review the commit history. Why is it important to see pipeline status?
That was what I was asking you guys.
Yeah.
And you guys are like, that was important. And I was like, okay, please explain.
Right. I can also see check in with Sunjung and Vitika. Vitika won't be back till like mid-May, but
Mhm.
just to see if they're thinking about workflows that I'm not thinking about.
Yeah, I wonder if this is maybe like something that is important to like the CI/CD workflow in general, but might not be appropriate in the context of the commit list.
Correct. That's my assumption.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I think that was super helpful. I think we should circle back with Vitika and Sanjan, and I'll just like update with a little summary in the Slack thread and then see if they have any like more context to add. But it seems like maybe we should deprioritize this in the commit list in that case. Like
Yeah.
it's a normal thing.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. One other thing you could do, which I just did like a very quick search and there's a bunch of results. In Dovetail, I would guess that there might be recordings or previous insights that you could look into to see if anyone is using that type of workflow. Uh, from a quick look, it doesn't look like that. There's actually a benchmark test that you could potentially that we ran in the past that might be good. I'll link that. That will show you actually going through the workflow of committing code, um, committing code to create the pipeline, then debugging the pipeline and using additional features that we have in Verify. So it will use the merge request page as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the way that you worded it, which is like the commit and the pipeline status are important in workflows outside of the commit list. I think that
Uh-huh.
that sets it up well.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, I would be happy to deprioritize it. Um, I was just like, well, I don't really know what the workflows are here, so let me just ask these guys.
Yeah. No, I think this is it's also something that it seems like has been legacy put in there, the little pipeline status icon into the commit list, and maybe needs to be reconsidered regardless. So I think it's good that you brought it up.
Yeah, those are really good questions, though. Oh, sorry. Okay, so you have something as well, right?
Oh,
So,
that's okay. I know we're like nearing the end of time, so I could always just ask async feedback unless you see anything you want to talk about right away.
yeah, sure.
It's kind of small anyways.
Well, do you want to get started in like 7 minutes?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. Let's do it. Do you want to keep the recording or stop it?
Uh, wait, I don't know. We can do it
Okay.
whatever.
Okay, I'll share my screen. Okay, so for a platform engineer who is like managing their runners and managing pipeline configurations for the project, they want to be able to see metrics about how pipeline and runner are performing. And we did a bunch of research around this, and when they talked about performance, they talked about it in two categories, which was status, like how often there was failures, how often it succeeded, and then they also talked about duration or speed. So, like how fast are my pipelines running today? Is that normal? What are the trends and how can I optimize the speed as well as the status if, if it's failing at a high rate, how can I optimize it? Um, so right now we have, let me show you what the page looks like. I'm in the wrong project. Okay. Right now, this is our CI/CD analytics. We have those two graphs, and this is fully focused on pipelines. So just showing you the duration over time. Interestingly enough, they wanted to see some more percentiles here. So that's why we added the 95th in there as well as the median so that they could see some of the outliers. And then the status. Same thing over time, but you get a little bit more detail into how many failed or succeeded, or the other, which is canceled or skipped. Sometimes this actually associates with each other, like if we did it to like last 180 days. Like that's actually, it's pretty consistent, so maybe not. I would assume though, if like there was a huge hump in the median here, there would be a lot more failures because it was taking longer to run. So
Um,
seeing them side by side could actually help them see that.
what is the median for like all GitLab projects?
No, this is just for one project, and one project has one pipeline configuration. So it's showing you across all the times that that pipeline has run in the last 180 days,
Oh,
um,
okay, okay,
which is 87,000 times. The median duration is 1 minute, and then it's failed 3% of the time, which is very good. Anything but below 5% is good.
okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So now to help them continue going through this process of like optimizing the pipeline, they need to know specifics about their jobs that make up that pipeline. So every pipeline has stages in it, which is like category, and then every stage has a job or many jobs. Um, so the jobs are like the smaller building blocks. We can think about it like that. And so if they see that their duration is of their pipeline is increasing over time, which you can see like it increased here and then kind of plateaued, that
Mhm.
might be due to a single job running very slow. And in this case, it is because Ruby 3 is running for 1 minute and 25 seconds compared to the rest of the jobs that are running for like 20 seconds, 15, whatever. Um, so using this, they could see, okay, this one's failing the most, which they could sort on. Each one of these would be sortable. And then they could see which one has the biggest duration, and then they can concentrate on what's the configuration of that job by going into the pipeline config and like editing, looking at it and editing it.
Okay.
And and that's really it. It's just adding this.
Ah, okay. Would you guys list like all of the jobs?
Yes, which is this thing is blocking it, but there is pagination. I can bring it up in Figma. So yeah, I was trying to get it so that you could still see this table above the page fold when you come to the page,
Uh-huh.
um, which is why I kept it to only showing 5 jobs and then paginating from there. I don't
Uh-huh.
know if that's going to be ideal though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Um, would I only need to see like a read-only state of information for each job, or would people want to like click in to get more details about the job?
Amazing, amazing feedback. Because yes, people would want to click in. We don't have this. It that doesn't exist today. We
Oh,
only, yeah, we don't have like we have these unique job IDs, which is the job name here, but we don't have a specific page showing you anything about that unique job, which is weird.
wait,
So
really?
in the future, I do want that. I made it so that like those things would be clickable, and then you go in one level deeper, and I'm not sure what exact metrics we would show here, but I kind of copied over the ones that I saw, and then I don't know. This was just a brainstorm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense as a first iteration, and then you guys can get feedback and user signals from there about how they'd want to expand it.
Yeah.
Better than what we have today. Hey!
Yes, I'm hoping that. And I think actually like that individual job page would be really useful. And
Yeah,
we could do a lot with that. So
yeah.
that would be a huge improvement in the
I'm
future.
shocked it doesn't exist already.
I know. Yeah, it's
Disbelief.
weird. It's weird.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense though. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. All right.
All
Well,
right.
I gotta hop off, but yeah, thanks for all the feedback and walking me through the Python stuff. I guess I'll see you in the follow-up.
Yes, sounds good. Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, have a
Bye.
good week. Yeah.
You too. Bye.
Bye.